Start the clock.
Good afternoon. At the tone, time will be
Real time.
Welcome back to another episode of Supercoach Road to 50k. Nick Ness back with you for another week. In this episode, we'll go over the last buy round. Thank God it's over. And we'll talk about what we should be doing going forward. Everyone's team should almost be finished. And who should we round it out with? So with that said, this week, slightly disappointing, I guess. Probably a little under par. Only for the second time this year, we've actually lost ground. Wasn't much, but we did lose ground. So we scored 1950 for the week. Which lost us 161 spots. So season rank 1308, which isn't too bad. Would have liked to be in the top 1,000 after the buys. That was our goal. So we fell slightly short of that. But overall, I think the net result was pretty good. I think we ended up moving up, some 9,000 spots total. So we'll take that. With that said, let's take a look at the team and see how everyone tracked. Okay, so we had 18 playing this week. Which did us no favors. All our scores counted. It would have been nice to have a few extra players, considering we had a few spot-up scores. Trades, Boke in for Cameron. Just didn't trust Cameron and really needed an extra hand this week. So his 118 helped a lot. Lockie Neal in, who we'll talk a bit about a bit later. And Hind in, who was fantastic. So basically, let's start in defense. Lloyd, 105, ever reliable. Been one of my best starting picks. I'm pretty sure he's in everyone's team as it is by now, especially if you're making a run for a high overall. You have to have him in. Sicily, disappointing. I hated the trade ever since I pulled the trigger on it. I think he had like a 110 average when we brought him in. Playing forward line the whole game. I think Clarko has come out and said that the experiments failed, so he looked for him to be in the back line. But that 40 points. For if you got his average of what, it's an extra 50 points, 2,000 would probably move up in rankings instead of go down. So hopefully he just plays defense as a defender for the rest of the year, and he can average 90 plus the rest of the way. But yeah, nothing we can really do. It's sort of out of our control that he was played up forward. Marty Hall, 49, his first real disappointing score since his first game that he played. What to do with him, I'm not 100% sure. My defense is kind of a mess, but we'll get to how the team's looking overall afterwards. Brody Smith had the bye. Duzma being so serviceable, 75. I think he was on close to 39 at quarter time, so it was disappointing to finish on 75 after such a good start, but rookies just fade in and out of games, so you can't hold that against him. He's sort of been a great, solid starting pick in defense. Gardner dropped, complete spud. He won't get back into that team. Most likely, so he's just going to become a loophole option in defense for the rest of the year. 591, I guess that's slightly down on his normal output, but everyone sort of has 5. McRae, another big score, back-to-back weeks, but 151 last week, 148 this week. And he's basically a POD in the top 10, like 33% of teams basically have him. So, for him to score big, that's good. Paddy Cripps had the week off. Lockie Neal. Now, this is I don't rate Neal as much as other people did. I didn't start with him this year, and it burnt the hell out of me when he got off to such a flyer. It's part of the reason why I'm sort of, if you started with Neal, I'd be closer to the top 100 than the top 1,000. So, we finally ended up, we needed a last midfielder to bring in, and I was tossing up between PODs in Yo, Gaff, they were the main two, and Bont, I guess. And ended up going with Neal. I just couldn't say no at his price. And if he kicked off again and ended up averaging 120 for the year, I would kick myself for not picking him up. But we bring him in, and he spuds up to 79. And it was one of those games he's had games like this year where Champion Data scored him over 100 for the same sort of possession-wise sort of game. And yeah, as soon as I bring him in, they stiff him to 79. So dirty about that. Oliver's been good lately. Another 114, 107 average for the year. So even after that slow start, probably not the ideal starting pick at his price, but not too bad either. Crouch by Ainsworth, he's terrible, 38. He will not field for me for the rest of the year unless I get some massive injuries. Nick Hind, he really helped my week a lot. He could, if he scored another 40 or something like that, or dropping down in the rankings quite significantly, I think. So, yeah, for him to come out, kick 3 goals and score a 90 is great. Wouldn't expect that every week, but happy with it in the bye round. Gawn and Grundy, super primos. Dunkley had a slow sort of start, ended up getting a ton, which is nice. Paddy Dangerfield also in cracking form. Got to be a Brownlow chance now, 141. A Boak, as I said, we brought him in. He's someone that gave me so much grief last year after I brought him in and he averaged like a 70. So we're hoping this year I can repay us for rooting me last year and have a big finish to the year. So we're happy with that score and happy to bring him in. Kelly down on his usual output. He can throw those games in. He was tagged. Marshall, it's a great pick. We love Marshall. It's so funny. Like we said, like the forward line could be the biggest problems, but it's turned out it's the back line, and there's so many different forward options. So from my team, Heaney, Marshall, and then there's guys like who else is scoring big? Lysette scoring huge as a ruckman with forward capabilities. Who else? Daniel. We traded out Cameron, but he's been a high-scoring forward and could still go off for the rest of the year. So Hawkins had a really bad game, but for overall for his year's been great. So there's lots of forward options. Walters, forgot about Walters, another one. So yeah, there's so many, and a lot of them are POD options. So yeah, who would have thought it was the back line? So with that said, let's take a look at how the team's going to look, bringing all the players in. So taking a look at the team at the moment with everyone in. So I'm really happy with the forward line. I think it's close to the best you can get. Missing maybe Daniel instead of Heaney, but I like Heaney and I'll back him to score more than Daniel for the rest of the year or something like that. It won't be much difference anyway. So yeah, happy with that. Obviously got the 2 main rucks that you need, and my midfield's pretty sexy if you ask me. So Kelly, Fife, McRae, Cripps, Cogs, Neil, Oliver, Crouch. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Depth's going to be the problem going forward, but we've got 6 trades left, 70k in the bank, and we basically got Baker to get rid of. So we down into a 102 rookie that basically gives us, what's that, like 330k in the bank, which is pretty nice. So we're hoping to do 2 upgrades with that in the back line, which is where all our problems are. So Lloyd's fine. He's the number 1 defender. Sicily, assuming he goes back, he's fine. He's a keeper. And then there's question marks over Hall, Malera, Smith, and Duzman's going to get traded out. So the question is, who do we bring in? For me, ideally it's Hearn and Whitfield, but I really can't afford to wait. Hearn's going to have another massive break even. I think close to another 160 break even. So he's set to lose more cash. So, and I want to conserve what I have. So it's a question of conserving what I have or getting extra points this week. So yeah, kind of hard decision. And it depends on when Whitfield's going to be back. I know he was tracking to be back for this week, but I doubt it. So let's assume he misses another 2 weeks. That means I really do need to bring someone in. So I'm thinking Williams from GWS. So Duzma, Baker out, maybe for Chol or something like that. And then Duzma to Williams. And then we can sort of have our pick of Hearn to Hall, Malera, or Smith. Just I'll have a look at him this week and then make a decision on that. So that's the plan going forward. Yeah, so how did everyone else go in the buys? Hopefully didn't do too badly. I actually just found out that Ryder to Gray, who's the current leader in the whole competition, he actually is a member of the Big Footy forums. Doesn't post much, but it's good to see him doing well, a member of the forum. So I encourage everyone to, if you haven't already, check him out. It's a really fun place to talk Supercoach and just have a laugh too. So yeah, so it's kind of rooting for him now. If we can't make it, as long as someone from the forums or someone, a viewer from this channel can get up, that'll be pretty cool. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Maybe I'll do a breaking down the top 10 for the last time, just looking at everyone's teams in the top 10 after the buys, if anyone's interested. So yeah, drop a like if you're interested in that. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks.